Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm here to share with you the surefire way to guarantee a life of misery. Yes, you heard that right, a life of frustration, emptiness, and regret. You see, I'm not here to inspire you to greatness today, but rather to show you how easy it is to fall into the trap that will keep you miserable for the rest of your days, just as I once did. Purpose is the driving force behind every significant achievement in life. It's the reason why some people rise to greatness while others remain in the shadows of their potential. When you neglect the power of purpose, you deny yourself the clarity and focus that could transform your existence. Purpose is not just a lofty idea, it is a fundamental necessity that shapes every decision you make and every action you take. Without it, you wander through life, drifting from one thing to another, never fully committing, never truly understanding what you're supposed to be doing. This lack of direction leaves you vulnerable to distractions, pulling you in 1,000 different directions, none of which bring fulfillment or satisfaction. When you live without purpose, your days blend into one another, marked by a sense of monotony and routine that feels inescapable. You wake up each day with no clear intention, going through the motions without any sense of excitement or anticipation. The tasks you perform feel meaningless because they lack connection to a larger goal or vision. This lack of meaning seeps into every area of your life, leaving you feeling empty and unfulfilled. You begin to wonder why you're even here, what your life is supposed to mean, and why nothing seems to matter. This existential void can lead to feelings of deep frustration and even depression as you struggle to find a reason to keep going. Without a sense of purpose, your energy is scattered and unfocused. Instead of channeling your efforts toward a specific goal, you spread yourself thin, trying to do a little bit of everything but never mastering anything. This approach not only dilutes your efforts but also leads to burnout. You expend a tremendous amount of energy without seeing any real progress or results, which only adds to your frustration. Purpose acts as a filter that helps you prioritize your time and energy, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. But when you ignore the power of purpose, you end up wasting your resources on trivial pursuits that do nothing to move you closer to your potential. Neglecting the power of purpose also means you lack a sense of identity. Purpose is closely tied to who you are and what you stand for. It gives you a sense of self that is rooted in something deeper than your external circumstances. Without purpose, you become easily influenced by the opinions and expectations of others. You might find yourself pursuing goals that aren't truly yours, simply because you don't have a strong enough sense of self to resist external pressures. This can lead to a life that feels inauthentic, where you're constantly chasing approval rather than fulfillment. You become a chameleon, changing who you are depending on who you're with, never fully comfortable in your own skin. Another consequence of ignoring the power of purpose is the loss of resilience. Purpose provides you with a reason to keep going when things get tough. It's the anchor that holds you steady in the face of adversity, giving you the strength to persevere. Without purpose, challenges and obstacles feel overwhelming. You're more likely to give up when things get difficult because you lack a compelling reason to push through the pain. Life becomes a series of struggles that you endure rather than opportunities for growth. The absence of purpose leaves you feeling like a victim of your circumstances, powerless to change your situation. Furthermore, neglecting purpose affects your relationships. When you lack purpose, you also lack a sense of direction in your interactions with others. Your relationships may feel shallow or transactional because they're not built on a shared sense of meaning or vision. Purpose-driven individuals attract others who share their values and aspirations, creating deep and meaningful connections. But without purpose, your relationships may lack depth, leading to feelings of isolation and loneliness. You might find yourself surrounded by people who don't truly understand or support you, simply because you haven't attracted the right kind of relationships into your life. purpose also plays a crucial role in your professional life. When you neglect the power of purpose, your work becomes a chore rather than a calling. You may find yourself stuck in a job that doesn't fulfill you, simply going through the motions to earn a paycheck. This lack of passion and engagement can lead to poor performance and a lack of motivation. You might start to dread going to work each day, feeling like you're wasting your potential on tasks that don't matter. This can create a cycle of dissatisfaction, where your lack of purpose at work spills over into other areas of your life, leading to a general sense of discontent. The absence of purpose also limits your ability to make a positive impact on the world. Purpose-driven individuals are often motivated by a desire to contribute to something greater than themselves. They seek to leave a legacy, to make a difference in the lives of others. But when you neglect purpose, your focus is often on self-preservation rather than contribution. You may become consumed with your own problems and concerns, losing sight of the bigger picture. This self-centered approach to life not only diminishes your sense of fulfillment, but also limits your potential to make a meaningful difference in the world. Another critical aspect of purpose is its ability to inspire others. When you live with purpose, your passion and commitment are contagious. You become a source of inspiration for those around you, encouraging them to pursue their own dreams and aspirations. But when you neglect purpose, you rob others of the opportunity to be inspired by your example. You blend into the background, unnoticed and unremarkable, never fully realizing the influence you could have had. Your life becomes a cautionary tale rather than a beacon of hope, serving as a reminder of what happens when you fail to live with intention. Neglecting purpose also has a profound impact on your mental and emotional well-being. Purpose gives you a reason to wake up each morning with a sense of enthusiasm and excitement. It fills your life with passion and joy, providing a deep sense of satisfaction that comes from knowing you're living in alignment with your true self. Without purpose, life can feel monotonous and unfulfilling, leading to feelings of boredom and disillusionment. You may start to question the point of it all, wondering why you're putting in the effort when nothing seems to matter. This lack of meaning can lead to a sense of emptiness that no amount of external success can fill. Moreover, purpose influences your long-term happiness and fulfillment. Studies have shown that people who live with a strong sense of purpose tend to be happier and more satisfied with their lives. Purpose provides a sense of direction and meaning that contributes to overall well-being. But when you neglect purpose, you miss out on this vital source of happiness. You might achieve certain milestones or successes, but without purpose, these accomplishments feel hollow. The joy of living with purpose is something that can't be replicated by external achievements alone. The neglect of purpose leaves you with a life filled with regret. As the years pass, you may look back and realize that you never truly lived the life you were meant to live. The dreams you once had were left unfulfilled. The goals you set for yourself were never achieved, and the person you could have become remains a distant possibility rather than a reality. This realization can be devastating as you come to understand that you had the power to create a meaningful and fulfilling life, but you chose to ignore it. Personal growth is the foundation upon which a fulfilling and successful life is built. It is the process of continuously improving oneself, developing new skills, expanding your knowledge, and evolving as a person. When you disregard personal growth, you essentially choose to remain stagnant, stuck in the same place, and resistant to change. This resistance to growth not only limits your potential, but also leads to a life that feels monotonous and unfulfilling. By ignoring the importance of personal development, you trap yourself in a cycle of mediocrity, never fully realizing what you're capable of achieving. One of the most significant consequences of disregarding personal growth is the inability to adapt to change. Life is constantly evolving, and the challenges you face today may not be the same as those you'll encounter tomorrow. Without a commitment to growth, you become ill-equipped to handle the shifts and transitions that life inevitably brings. You cling to outdated beliefs, habits, and ways of thinking, unable to adjust to new circumstances. This rigidity makes it difficult to thrive in a world that is always moving forward. Instead of growing stronger in the face of adversity, you find yourself overwhelmed and defeated by the changes that come your way. Another critical aspect of personal growth is the development of self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. It's the foundation of emotional intelligence, which is essential for building healthy relationships and making sound decisions. When you disregard personal growth, you neglect the opportunity to deepen your self-awareness. You remain oblivious to your own strengths and weaknesses, blind to the patterns that govern your life. This lack of self-awareness leads to poor decision-making, strained relationships, and a general sense of dissatisfaction, as you're unable to understand why things aren't working out the way you'd like. Disregarding personal growth also means you limit your ability to achieve your goals. Growth requires stepping out of your comfort zone, taking risks, and pushing beyond your current limitations. It's about challenging yourself to reach higher and do better. But when you ignore the need for growth, you stay within the confines of what's familiar and safe. You settle for the status quo, never daring to dream bigger or strive for more. This complacency keeps you from reaching your full potential, leaving you with unfulfilled ambitions and unrealized dreams. Your life becomes a series of missed opportunities, as you're too afraid or too comfortable to take the necessary steps to achieve your goals. Personal growth is also closely tied to your sense of purpose and direction in life. When you're committed to growing and evolving, you're more likely to have a clear vision of where you want to go and what you want to achieve. Growth fuels your sense of purpose, giving you the motivation and drive to pursue your dreams. But when you disregard personal growth, you lose this sense of direction. Life becomes aimless with no clear goals or aspirations to guide you. You may find yourself drifting from one thing to another, never fully committing to anything because you lack the clarity and focus that comes from a strong sense of purpose. Moreover, personal growth is essential for overcoming the obstacles and challenges that life inevitably throws your way. Growth equips you with the tools and resources you need to face adversity with resilience and determination. It's through growth that you develop the strength to bounce back from setbacks, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. But when you disregard personal growth, you're left ill-prepared to handle life's challenges. Every obstacle feels insurmountable. Every setback feels like a failure, and you find yourself stuck in a cycle of defeat. Without growth, you lack the resilience to persevere, and your ability to overcome challenges is severely diminished. Disregarding personal growth also affects your relationships with others. Growth is not just about improving yourself, it's also about becoming a better partner, friend, and family member. As you grow, you learn how to communicate more effectively, empathize with others, and resolve conflicts in a healthy way. But when you neglect growth, your relationships suffer. You may find it difficult to connect with others on a deep level, as you lack the emotional intelligence and self-awareness necessary for building strong, meaningful connections. Your relationships may become superficial or strained as you're unable to navigate the complexities of human interaction. Another consequence of disregarding personal growth is the impact it has on your professional life. In today's fast-paced world, staying relevant and competitive requires continuous learning and development. Those who prioritize personal growth are more likely to succeed in their careers as they're constantly updating their skills and knowledge to keep up with industry trends. But when you ignore growth, you risk becoming obsolete. Your skills become outdated, your knowledge becomes irrelevant, and your opportunities for advancement dwindle. This stagnation can lead to job dissatisfaction, financial instability, and a lack of fulfillment in your professional life. Personal growth is also crucial for building confidence and self-esteem. As you grow and develop, you gain a greater sense of competence and self-assurance. You begin to trust in your abilities and believe in your potential. This confidence empowers you to take on new challenges, pursue your goals, and live life with a sense of purpose and direction. But when you disregard personal growth, you rob yourself of this confidence. You remain uncertain of your abilities, constantly doubting yourself and your decisions. This lack of confidence can hold you back from pursuing opportunities and achieving your goals, leaving you with a lingering sense of insecurity and self-doubt. Disregarding personal growth also means you miss out on the joy and fulfillment that comes from continuous learning and development. Growth is not just about achieving external success, it's also about finding joy in the process of learning, exploring new ideas, and expanding your horizons. When you're committed to growth, life becomes an exciting journey of discovery, filled with opportunities to learn and grow. But when you ignore growth, life can feel dull and uninspiring. You may find yourself stuck in a rut, going through the motions without any real sense of excitement or enthusiasm. This lack of fulfillment can lead to feelings of boredom and dissatisfaction, as you're no longer engaged in the process of becoming the best version of yourself. Furthermore, disregarding personal growth limits your ability to make a positive impact on the world. Growth is not just about improving yourself for your own sake, it's also about using your gifts and talents to make a difference in the lives of others. When you're committed to growth, you're more likely to find ways to contribute to your community, support causes you care about, and inspire others to pursue their own growth. But when you ignore growth, your focus remains inward, and your ability to influence others is diminished. You may find yourself feeling disconnected from the world around you, unsure of how to make a meaningful contribution or leave a lasting legacy. Disregarding personal growth leaves you with a life that feels incomplete. Growth is what gives life its richness and depth, allowing you to experience all that life has to offer. It's through growth that you discover new passions, develop meaningful relationships, and achieve your most important goals. But when you neglect growth, you miss out on these opportunities for fulfillment and satisfaction. Life becomes a series of missed chances and unfulfilled potential, leaving you with a sense of regret for the things you could have done but didn't. This regret can be a heavy burden as you come to realize that you had the power to create a more fulfilling life, but chose not to pursue it. Avoiding responsibility is one of the most detrimental decisions you can make in life. Responsibility is the foundation of maturity, growth, and achievement. It is through taking responsibility for your actions, decisions, and circumstances that you gain control over your life and steer it in the direction you desire. When you avoid responsibility, you surrender that control. You place yourself at the mercy of external factors, blaming others or your circumstances for your failures and shortcomings. This mindset not only hinders your personal development, but also perpetuates a cycle of victimhood, where you feel powerless and stuck, unable to make meaningful changes in your life. At its core, avoiding responsibility is an act of self-sabotage. It's a way of denying your power to influence your own life. By refusing to take ownership of your choices, you effectively abdicate your role as the author of your story. Instead of recognizing the role you play in shaping your future, you shift the blame to others, whether it's your parents, your boss, the government, or society at large. This refusal to accept responsibility keeps you trapped in a mindset of helplessness. You convince yourself that you have no control over your life, that you're merely a pawn in a game where others hold all the power. This belief is not only disempowering but also untrue, as each of us has the ability to make choices that can significantly impact our lives. One of the most profound consequences of avoiding responsibility is the erosion of trust both in yourself and in your relationships with others. When you fail to take responsibility for your actions, people begin to lose faith in you. They see you as unreliable, someone who can't be counted on to follow through or own up to mistakes. This loss of trust can have far-reaching implications, affecting your personal and professional relationships. Friends, family members, and colleagues may distance themselves from you, unwilling to invest their time and energy in someone who refuses to be accountable. Over time, this can lead to a sense of isolation and loneliness, as you find yourself increasingly disconnected from those around you. Moreover, avoiding responsibility stunts your personal growth and development. Growth requires acknowledging your mistakes, learning from them, and making better choices moving forward. But when you avoid responsibility, you miss out on these valuable lessons. You remain stuck in a cycle of making the same mistakes over and over again because you refuse to recognize your role in creating them. This lack of self-reflection and accountability prevents you from evolving as a person. Instead of growing stronger and wiser through your experiences, you remain stagnant, repeating the same patterns of behavior that keep you from reaching your full potential. Avoiding responsibility also has a significant impact on your self-esteem and sense of self-worth. When you avoid responsibility, you're essentially telling yourself that you're not capable of handling the challenges that life throws your way. This belief can become a self-fulfilling prophecy as you begin to doubt your abilities and shy away from opportunities that require you to step up and take charge. Over time, this can lead to a deep sense of inadequacy and insecurity as you convince yourself that you're not good enough or capable enough to succeed. This lack of confidence can permeate every area of your life, holding you back from pursuing your goals and dreams. Another consequence of avoiding responsibility is the constant state of stress and anxiety it creates. When you avoid responsibility, you're always looking over your shoulder, waiting for the consequences of your actions to catch up with you. Whether it's a missed deadline, a broken promise, or a mistake you've tried to cover up, the fear of being found out can be overwhelming. This constant worry and anxiety take a toll on your mental and physical health, leading to issues such as insomnia, headaches, anxiety take a toll on your mental and physical health, leading to issues in chronic stress. Moreover, the longer you avoid responsibility, the more these issues compound, creating a cycle of stress that becomes increasingly difficult to break. Avoiding responsibility also limits your ability to achieve your goals. Success in any area of life, whether it's your career, relationships, or personal development, requires a willingness to take responsibility for your actions and decisions. When you avoid responsibility, you're less likely to set goals for yourself or take the steps necessary to achieve them. You may find yourself procrastinating, making excuses, or giving up at the first sign of difficulty. This lack of accountability prevents you from making progress and achieving the success you desire. Instead of moving forward, you remain stuck in a state of inertia, unable to break free from the habits and behaviors that are holding you back. Furthermore, avoiding responsibility can lead to a life filled with regret. When you refuse to take ownership of your actions, you're more likely to make decisions that are short-sighted or self-serving. You may choose the easy way out, opting for immediate gratification over long-term success. But as time goes on, the consequences of these choices begin to catch up with you. You may find yourself looking back on your life with regret, wishing you had made different choices or taken more responsibility for your actions. This regret can be a heavy burden to carry as you realize that the life you've created is a product of the decisions you've made or failed to make along the way. Avoiding responsibility also has a detrimental effect on your relationships. Relationships thrive on trust, communication, and mutual respect, all of which are undermined when one person refuses to take responsibility for their actions. When you avoid responsibility, you're more likely to blame others for your problems, deflect criticism, and refuse to acknowledge your role in conflicts. This behavior can create tension and resentment in your relationships, leading to arguments, misunderstandings, and ultimately the breakdown of the relationship itself. Over time, this pattern of avoidance can leave you feeling isolated and disconnected from the people who matter most to you. In addition to damaging your relationships, avoiding responsibility can also have serious consequences for your career. In the workplace, responsibility is highly valued. Employers want employees who are reliable, accountable, and capable of owning their mistakes. When you avoid responsibility, you risk damaging your reputation and limiting your opportunities for advancement. You may find yourself passed over for promotions, receiving poor performance reviews, or even facing disciplinary action. This lack of professional growth can lead to job dissatisfaction, financial instability, and a lack of fulfillment in your career. Avoiding responsibility also robs you of the opportunity to learn and grow from your experiences. Life is full of challenges and setbacks, but each one presents an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. When you take responsibility for your actions, you're able to learn from your mistakes, make better choices, and develop the skills and resilience needed to succeed. But when you avoid responsibility, you miss out on these valuable learning experiences. You remain stuck in a cycle of making the same mistakes, never fully understanding why things aren't working out. This lack of growth and development can leave you feeling frustrated, unfulfilled, and stuck in a life that doesn't reflect your true potential. Avoiding responsibility can lead to a lack of purpose and direction in life. Responsibility gives you a sense of ownership over your life and your choices. It's what allows you to set goals, make plans, and take action to achieve your dreams. But when you avoid responsibility, you lose this sense of purpose. Life becomes aimless with no clear goals or direction to guide you. You may find yourself drifting from one thing to another, never fully committing to anything because you lack the sense of ownership that comes from taking responsibility. This lack of purpose can lead to feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction as you struggle to find meaning and fulfillment in your life. Rejecting relationships is one of the most isolating choices you can make. Humans are inherently social beings designed to connect, communicate, and build bonds with one another. Relationships are the threads that weave the fabric of our lives, providing us with support, companionship, and a sense of belonging. When you reject relationships, you sever these vital connections, cutting yourself off from the emotional nourishment that relationships offer. This decision leads to a life of loneliness and isolation, where you're left to navigate the complexities of life on your own, without the guidance, love, and support that others can provide. The act of rejecting relationships often stems from a place of fear of vulnerability, fear of rejection, fear of getting hurt. Opening yourself up to others requires a level of trust and vulnerability that can be uncomfortable and even frightening. But in rejecting relationships out of fear, you also reject the possibility of experiencing the deep, meaningful connections that bring joy and fulfillment to life. You deprive yourself of the opportunity to share your life with others, to love and be loved, to experience the highs and lows of life alongside those who care about you. Over time, this fear-based decision can create a barrier around your heart, making it increasingly difficult to connect with others, even if you later change your mind. Rejecting relationships also means missing out on the growth and learning that comes from interacting with others. Relationships challenge us to grow, to confront our flaws, and to become better versions of ourselves. Through relationships, we learn about empathy, compromise, and forgiveness. We are pushed out of our comfort zones and exposed to new perspectives and ideas. But when you reject relationships, you miss out on these opportunities for growth. You remain within the confines of your own mind, unchallenged and unchanged, unable to see beyond your own limited perspective. This lack of growth can lead to stagnation as you become more set in your ways and less open to the transformative power of connection. Another consequence of rejecting relationships is the loss of emotional support. Life is full of challenges, and navigating these challenges alone can be incredibly difficult. Relationships provide us with a support system, a network of people who are there to help us through tough times, to offer a listening ear, or to provide guidance when we need it most. When you reject relationships, you lose this support system. You're left to face life's difficulties on your own, without the comfort and reassurance that comes from knowing that someone has your back. This lack of support can lead to feelings of overwhelm and despair as you struggle to carry the weight of life's burdens by yourself. Rejecting relationships also means missing out on the joy and happiness that comes from shared experiences. Life's greatest moments are often those that are shared with others, celebrating a milestone, enjoying a fun activity, or simply spending time with loved ones. These shared experiences create memories that last a lifetime, enriching our lives with joy and connection. But when you reject relationships, you miss out on these moments of shared joy. You may achieve great things or experience wonderful moments, but without someone to share them with, these experiences can feel hollow and incomplete. The happiness that comes from connection is irreplaceable. And by rejecting relationships, you deny yourself this essential aspect of a fulfilling life. Rejecting relationships can also have a negative impact on your mental and physical health. Numerous studies have shown that strong social connections are linked to better mental and physical health outcomes. People with strong relationships are less likely to experience depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. They also tend to have better immune function, lower blood pressure, and a reduced risk of chronic diseases. When you reject relationships, you're not only isolating yourself emotionally, but also putting your health at risk. The stress and loneliness that come from a lack of connection can take a toll on your body, leading to a range of health issues that can affect your quality of life. Moreover, rejecting relationships can lead to a distorted sense of self. Our sense of identity is often shaped by our interactions with others. Through relationships, we learn about ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, our values, and our desires. Others reflect back to us aspects of ourselves that we might not see on our own, helping us to gain a deeper understanding of who we are. But when you reject relationships, you miss out on this vital feedback. You're left to define yourself in isolation, without the input and perspectives of others. This can lead to a skewed or incomplete sense of self, as you're unable to see yourself fully or accurately without the mirror of relationships. Rejecting relationships also means foregoing the opportunity to make a positive impact on others. Relationships are not just about what we receive, they're also about what we give. Through relationships, we have the opportunity to offer love, support, and guidance to others. We can make a difference in someone else's life, providing them with the encouragement or assistance they need to overcome their challenges. But when you reject relationships, you deny yourself the opportunity to contribute to the lives of others. You miss out on the fulfillment that comes from being there for someone else, from knowing that you've made a positive impact on the world around you. Another consequence of rejecting relationships is the loss of connection to community and society. Relationships are the building blocks of community. They connect us to the broader social fabric, giving us a sense of belonging and purpose. When you reject relationships, you also distance yourself from the community. You become disconnected from the larger social networks that provide meaning and context to your life. This sense of disconnection can lead to feelings of alienation and loneliness, as you find yourself increasingly isolated from the world around you. Without these connections, life can feel empty and devoid of purpose as you struggle to find your place in the world. Rejecting relationships can also hinder your ability to achieve your goals. Success in life often depends on the support and collaboration of others. Whether it's in your career, personal projects, or other endeavors, having strong relationships can open doors, provide opportunities, and offer the support you need to succeed. But when you reject relationships, you limit your ability to network, collaborate, and build the connections that are often crucial to achieving your goals. You may find yourself struggling to make progress or missing out on opportunities simply because you've chosen to go it alone, without the support and connections that could have helped you along the way. Rejecting relationships also means sacrificing the deep sense of fulfillment that comes from loving and being loved. Love is one of the most powerful and profound experiences in life. It brings meaning, joy, and a sense of connection that nothing else can replace. When you reject relationships, you close yourself off to the possibility of experiencing this deep, transformative love. You may protect yourself from the potential pain of loss or rejection, but you also deny yourself the joy and fulfillment that come from opening your heart to others. This decision can leave you feeling empty and unfulfilled as you miss out on the richness that love and connection bring to life. Rejecting relationships can lead to a life of regret. As time goes on, you may come to realize the value of the relationships you've turned away from. You may look back on your life and wish you had been more open, more vulnerable, more willing to connect with others. The relationships you rejected may have been opportunities for growth, joy, and love that you'll never get back. This realization can lead to a deep sense of regret as you mourn the connections and experiences you missed out on. Regret can be a heavy burden to carry, especially when it comes to something as fundamental as the relationships that could have enriched your life. In conclusion, the path to a life of misery is paved with the rejection of key principles that are essential for a fulfilled and meaningful existence. Neglecting the power of purpose leaves you drifting aimlessly without direction or drive. Disregarding personal growth stunts your potential, trapping you in a cycle of mediocrity and stagnation. Avoiding responsibility deprives you of the opportunity to shape your destiny and learn from your actions. And finally, rejecting relationships isolates you from the very connections that provide support, joy, and a sense of belonging. Each of these choices, rooted in fear, apathy, or ignorance, leads to a life that is disconnected, unfulfilled, and burdened by regret. To truly thrive, you must embrace purpose, commit to continuous growth, take responsibility for your life, and nurture the relationships that enrich your journey. These are the lessons that, if ignored, will lead to a life of regret. But if embraced, they have the power to transform your life into one of meaning, joy, and fulfillment. The choice is yours.